Buddy, welcome back. Cheers. I'm a little early. I think I'm a minute early, so I'm going to click on the welcome back thing because I wanted to get a really good keen start. You can hear I'm almost back to 100%. I still sound a little bit like I've been screaming at a football game or something, and I'm sucking on a lozenge. Cheers. Oh my goodness, that's so amazing. So, how much time do we have? Almost there. It's almost 10 o'clock. I'm going to just give us a second because I don't want to miss I don't want to start this so that people miss out because this one is kind of important. Okay, 59, 59, 59. Why does it always take so long? Okay, while we're getting started, I just want to say how amazing it is to see all the Christmas wishes back and forth. It is so great to see people taking time when everybody is so frantic and so busy. Everybody's taking just that little bit of time to hop onto their various social media to wish everybody good things in the coming days. And I think, we need to do more of it. We need to remember how good it feels when somebody reaches out and says, "Hey, I'm thinking of you. How are you?" It's ridiculous how warm and fuzzy that is. Don't you find? So I want to tell you a very funny thing that happened on Sunday that was part of a lovely tradition that I got invited to. And then I want to talk about why. And so the theme for this episode 210 episodes, guys. My gosh. The topic for this episode is I wonder what channel they're on. And I don't mean I wonder what's in the water they're drinking. I don't mean that. I'm not being sly or snide. I For 25 years, I did this wonderful Christmas promotion in this little town just south of Ottawa, Canada. Ottawa is the capital of Canada, and I lived just south of the city in this beautiful little place on the water. It's an island in the river. This town called Manotick, and every year for 25 years, we did an old-fashioned Christmas event, and I've posted every year this glorious picture of the costume I was given. Carol Hay took the picture. I'm standing in front of an old stone mill. And so I was Merry Christmas. I wasn't Mrs. Santa. I wasn't somehow related to Santa. And the gentleman who was my partner on this, he was Father Christmas, and his costume was similar to mine in its vintage look, long robe flowing to the ground. And we didn't position him so that kids had to come up and line up and get all nervous and anxious to say what they wanted for Christmas. We showed up places. We were wandering around saying hello to people, welcoming them to the village. There was a breakfast we would go through, and we would sing and ask them questions and have you been good, and I would say helpful things like, the song does say naughty and nice. Good morning, Charles, happy Boxing Day. And so every year part of that event was open wagons pulled by horses that free rides all through the village, and you would get on at this little restaurant. We would ride around the village. It took about 20 minutes to do the village, and it goes at a slow pace. It's like, when you're on a sailboat, you're not exactly, it's not America's Cup. It's a slower pace, and we would go through the village and wave and so on. And then some Christmases it was really cold, and it didn't matter how much I could put on underneath that costume, and I could put almost everything I owned under that costume. After a while, you get cold because the wind, it just gets in under things, and now you're chilled. And the last thing I wanted was a cold. So I would stand. I would never sit. I would stand on the wagon, And I would ask silly questions of people, and how was their Christmas, and are they ready, and what present have you got for me? Oh, well, good heavens, you mean you didn't? Well, fortunately, there's still time, stuff. And I would say to people on the wagon, so we don't freeze to death. Every time we see people, I mean, the horses, the wagon had bells, cling, ding, ding, ding. It's like you had to be deaf not to hear us coming. And clop, 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 cling, ding, ding, ding. And I said, when we get close, I'll shout 1, 2, 3, and then we'll all yell Merry Christmas and surprise the living daylights out of people. And they all thought that was really funny. And the reason I said surprise people is that the first time I did it, it was the Sunday before Christmas, and we're dressed, and there's horses and wagons, and everything is all festive, right? I'd shout Merry Christmas, and people would jump about 7 feet in the air and turn around and look utterly astonished. And the first few times it happened completely blew me away. Well, good morning. Good morning. It's so lovely to see your face and know that it's your voice. Chris, how are you? I hope you're well, and I hope you're doing great. It's lovely to see you here. So I'm talking about this thing I would do every Christmas for 25 years. So I'd be yelling Merry Christmas, and people like this. And at one point, because I'm a bit of a, sly thing, I said, would you prefer Happy Easter? And because what is wrong with you? What did you think I would yell at you? Really? Given this and the time. And they would blink, like the whole body on the person would go, and then they would laugh. And I thought, I'm onto something. I'm onto something, and I don't know what it is. I'm gonna make a note of it, and when I'm gonna find the time, I'm gonna figure it out, because something just happened there. And I'm busy right now, so I can't, call up my therapist friends and say, what have I just done here? And I would make a note, and every year I would forget, because busy. And then, by the way, at the end of that particular day, cold, tired, where's the bar? And I need to change into human clothes and then drive home. So this past Sunday, there is a sweet waterfront pub just south of Manotick. And it's a local, everybody drops in on the way to and from. They've been around for a long time. The owner is great. He's funny, he's dry, he's witty. It's very difficult to surprise him because he's seen a lot in his time. And every year he does this really brilliant thing. On Christmas Eve day, they're open as usual from, I think, 11 in the morning until, but they cut it off early. They put up a sign and they say the kitchen closes at 2 p.m. So if you were going to go and have lunch, and the food is great there. The Swan on the Rideau is the name of the pub. And if you're going to be driving from the south up to Manotick, or from town through Manotick south, you will not make a mistake if you stop in there. I guarantee it. Tell them Abby says hi. The food is very good. The drinks are great. The prices are very reasonable. And there's George, who is unflappable. And all the regulars who stop in. And there are all kinds of people living within, a 20-minute commute in sort of a radius, because it's a little bit out in the country. A lot of boaters in the summer because of the marina. So on Christmas Eve day, they close the kitchen at 2. And it is an unwritten invitation to all the regulars to come and spend the afternoon from 2 until 4. They don't serve food, and your drinks are free. On the bar, large mason jars. Thank your staff. Thank your servers. Thank them for looking after you all year. So people come in, and, because they're regulars, it's not like free bar at a stranger's wedding where people, get ridiculous. They sit and chat, and how have you been? And what are the plans? for the holidays? And are you going away? And did you just come back? And whatever happened to so and so? And it's a reunion. It's an unofficial reunion. And of course, at the end of the couple of hours, everyone is very generous with the mason jars because they know that the staff could have been home today, could have been with the family. They know that George has gone out of his way in the most productive, immediate, face-to-face way to say thank you. Thank you for thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being part of this. So I hadn't gone in a long time because I've been away. And a really sweet friend of mine reached out and said, "Are you going to go to the Swan today?" Oh my God. I'd forgotten. You know what? I have nothing planned. Is it still 2:00? Yeah. All right. Yeah. Count me in. He said, "I'll save you a seat at the bar." I drove down, walked in. George and my friend said, I won't tell anybody you're coming." I walked in. George, unflappable George said, "Well, this is nice." It's the least I could do. And George said, good. I'm glad we're at the top of your list today." And he turned around to make sure I had a seat, realized that a seat had been saved, looks at my co-conspirator and says, so, hearkening back to my Christmas days, when I pulled up, got out of my car, there were people heading in, and I called out, "Merry Christmas." It's Christmas Eve day. We're going to the Christmas Eve day event. That's why we're here. Merry Christmas, people. Oh, yeah. Me. Would you have preferred Happy Easter? Blink. Before that, I had stopped to get fuel at the gas station. I go in to pay. Merry Christmas. Person blinks. And I thought, what the hell is going on? Before that, in my building, excuse me, it's just the cough drop. In my building, in the parking garage, Merry Christmas, people jump. I figured it out. And I figured it out in time for the video this morning. I love the way the universe works, don't you? They were on a different channel. They were in their heads somewhere, going through a mental list of the stuff that they had piled on their plate to do, of the stuff they didn't do, of other things that had come along that had blindsided them or distracted them or whatever. They still got dressed. They still, put the shoes on the correct feet. They still grabbed their car keys. They still made it a priority to be going where they were going. But a really large part of their presence, their self was on a different frequency. They were either listening to the internal loop tape, the one that they acquired from a very early age, where some snarky person says, you're never going to amount to anything, and who do you think you're kidding, and all that stuff. Or they're beating themselves up that 7-day diet didn't work and the pants are pinching around the middle, or whatever, just realizing that we forgot to invite Aunt Mary to the dinner tomorrow, and now how are we going to make it look like we invited everybody at the last minute, all that stuff. Perfectly normal. We all do it. The thing is this: while we're on our way to this, if we have our heads over here, if we're tuned in on another frequency, we're missing out on all of this. We're not here. We're here in body. We're not here in brain. We're not here in heart. We're not here in anticipation and excitement. We're trying to juggle too many things. And it's stressful it's as stressful as hell. It's terrible. I didn't see anybody smiling and looking happy. You know how cheap the gas was? Holy crap. I I pulled a U-turn on the road. Big woo, window open, cheering. People looking at me. I'm looking for the small mercies, right? I'm looking for the simple wins. I'm looking for the life hacks that fix the problems before they begin. Why? Because, I have developed an ability to tap dance better than a lot of people. I don't recommend it. And for one thing, it's exhausting. Here's the thing. The only person I have ever seen in my entire life who managed to look elegant and suave and debonair while tap dancing died a long time ago. His name was Fred Astaire. Everybody else looks frantic. And I, really, I've spent too many years being paid to look frantic on purpose and don't really need to look frantic because I'm overwhelmed. I don't need to be trying to juggle all my realities when I don't have to. So this is the thing we forget. This is the thing we're not paying attention to. So when I said this morning in the title for this video, I wonder what channel they're on. What I'm trying to do is figure out in the short term how to get them tuned into mine, how to surprise them out of their distraction in a positive way, how to trigger a smile of surprise and then amusement and maybe even delight. If I can get that hat trick, that's incredible. Surprise, amusement, delight. Right? So the first time I said, would you prefer Happy Easter? That just came out of the back of my head. The guy who hands me out the clever things that I say handed me that and I said it. I heard it the first time, I heard it the same time they did. And we both smiled and enjoyed it. And so here's what happens. Merry Christmas. Oh, would you prefer Happy Easter? No, Merry Christmas, Happy. We are now on the same wavelength. We are now on the same frequency. They're not going to cancel their shopping and climb on the wagon and sit down and talk to me. What they are going to do is that they're going to turn to the person they're with in this immediate moment, or turn to the person they're about to be with and talk about this moment. It's not that they're going to talk about me that matters. They're going to talk about the trigger that snapped them out of their distraction. And they're going to share that little story with the person they're with. With luck, with value added, they'll share the story more than once. You wouldn't believe it. I ran into Abby Haggard today. Gosh, I felt like an idiot. Ha 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 ha, Happy Easter. And that changes it, doesn't it? That changes the autopilot that they were on. That shifts them into manual gear. They are now present. They are now in this moment with us. And every next thing that happens to them in the immediate next moments, they're also present for. They're also enjoying in real time. So my fabulous friend Chris, who has joined us this morning, suffered a loss, as many of us have, suffered a great loss, and has been trying to figure out how to get his feet on solid ground again, because the loss took away one of his foundation supports, one of his pillars of balance and normal and connection. And it was completely surreal for him. And as it is for all of us who suddenly, surprisingly, lose someone, something, some value that we had entwined the thread of our story in. It's very difficult to get back to normal, to get back to a place where we feel like us again. And it means wading through and choosing what to hang on to and what to let go of. And one of the things that is so very difficult is that in a loss, we begin to see light at the end of the tunnel. And for many of us, we immediately feel a sense of guilt, shame, betrayal, that we have the audacity to find happiness, joy, that we have an eagerness to move forward. It feels like we're discarding what meant everything to us. And we're not. We're not discarding anything. This is so important for us to know on these days after Christmas. What we need to understand is the waves on the beach come and then retreat in order to return. It is a cycle. I'm not going to break into a song from The Lion King. I just realized that there it was right in the back of my head. I'm not going to do it because it's Christmas. I don't want to expose any of us to that. So what we have to understand is, as we walk forward, we bring all of our attention, our memories, our thoughts, our connections, our feelings, our stories, we bring them with us. As we go anywhere, you can't run away from you. Everywhere you go, there you are. And so are all the stories, and so are all the memories, and so are all the ideas, and so are all the passions and the conversations. Unless and until we choose to say, thank you. Thank you. I love you from a distance. Thank you. I need to let go. And when we do that, we will be ready for that. And that's part of the conversation that I'm going to get us into on Thursday this week, because I have this wonderful, wonderful other tool to get us to unpack, sort, select, and release. And I think it's the perfect timing because it's just before the end of the year and we get to do that mental and emotional house cleaning. And you're going to love it. You really are. It's my favorite thing. So back to the story of Merry Christmas. Would you prefer Happy Easter? The reason I do these things is to get people to refocus, to snap them back to the now, to get them happy Boxing Day, Freddie. It's so wonderful. You are very welcome. Freddie was wondering if I would be dressing as Merry Christmas, and I found the picture, and so I shared it. So what we are trying to do right now is be here. Be here for this. Savor all the good juice. Wonder what that part is. Make a note not to do that again. Be here. Be here for this right now. That's all. And then when it's done, when it's time to move on, we can And we do. And we take the full memory of this moment with us, the full memory of the magic. Because I want to tell you another thing that happened before Sunday. I went to see a fabulous group of musicians. Um, I'm very close to a couple of them. And they had, as a surprise for their Christmas variety show, some very, very special guests that nobody suspected were coming. And so the place was packed. It was sold out months ago. And then they kept introducing these people who just joined the band, came on. And people are oh my God. And this is not, this is not a group of 20-year-olds. This is stuff. This is our age. And it wasn't a throwback nostalgia. This is all working, busy, family oriented people who still love to play. Every now and again, they've stopped touring full time. They've stopped doing concerts full time, but they pull it together. They do their rehearsals and they show up for the, a blues fest or a jazz fest, and they make special trips and they book 3 months in advance. We're going to be here for 2 nights. We're going to be there. Why? Because they love that part of their lives. They love their art. They love the experience with a live audience. They love getting together again and rehearsing. They love playing. However, they've made a commitment to live in the now world with their families, with their loved ones, with their partners, with their day jobs, with their responsibilities. And they have put their participation in the band not on the back burner so much, but on a side table that they're able to go and access. So watching them play is like a family reunion in all the best ways. And to see the major names show up out of nowhere and come on the stage and realize while watching them play that they go a long way back, that somewhere, and then I found out the stories that this famous guy who got a break on a national American talk show is from the Ottawa area, connected with this band a few years back, got some coaching and some advice and some mentoring for them, took advantage of the COVID experience at home to write some killer music, and then just kept poking away at it and poking away at it. And suddenly somewhere someone saw it, and the next thing you know, the stone began to roll downhill, and this guy is on his way. And there he was on this quiet little stage in this quiet little club on a side street in Ottawa a few days before Christmas without any fanfare. Oh my. Brilliant, magical, amazing. So we found a table off to the side on an area that was sort of on a raised platform. So away from the crowd at the front, but not impossible. It's not like we were in Wyoming or anything. And the thing was that if you stood up from the table, there was nobody behind us. If you stood up from the table and we're on this platform, we saw the band perfectly. So got a seat, got a table, got a drink, got distance, got vision already then. So it was wonderful. What also happened for me, because I was, trying to get rid of the cold, is that I didn't want to mingle with a lot of people and either get sick again or give it to them because, oh, hey, Merry Christmas. So I was kind of isolating a little bit. As I was way at the back, I noticed something very bizarre to me, really strange. So the tickets weren't horrific. It's not like we were booking tickets to the Eras tour or anything. But still had to find parking, had to get off the couch, put pants on, face the front, drive downtown, pay for the ticket, buy the drink. So there was an investment. And by the way, this band is incredible and had these amazing surprise guests, right? The whole evening long. So we got there for 8, left at 11:30. The whole evening long, that's 3.5 hours. There was a group of people standing about 5 to 10 feet away from me. The bar is there. We're here, tables, standing room, band. And this group of people never left that spot, never ventured around the corner to see the band, never stopped talking to each other, never said, give me a minute, I just want to check it out, never stepped away from the group, never ventured the 10 feet, 15 feet down the corridor to see what was going on. When the cheers went up and the applause happened, when the surprise guests appeared on stage out of nowhere, they kept talking. They weren't here sufficiently in the moment to be curious about that sudden cheer. None of them turned to say, what's that? I wonder what that is. I'll be right back. None of them. None of them. They came, and I'm not criticizing at all. I hope you know that. I hope you understand. I'm not saying meh. I'm saying they went to the special effort to come to that place, to buy a ticket, to be part of the experience, and then didn't show up for it. None of them showed up for it. They stood in a circle the way people do when they bump into each other at a bar, at a restaurant, in a shopping center, in a parking lot, at a house party, and caught up. They were all friends. They knew each other well. They all said, see you there. And they came. And they chose to create their own moment inside the moment that was the destination. They missed out on something truly magical. They could have done both. They could have done the hugs and, oh my gosh, it's great to see you and let's chat. And because, by the way, the band had a break. Band had a 20-minute intermission. Doors opened at 8. They didn't start to play till 8:30. There was all kinds of time for the catching up. They not only used that time, they used the whole time. And by the way, they also didn't waste any time, invest any time in checking out who else might be there that they might know. They came in their bubble. They stayed in their bubble on a different channel from the rest of us the whole time. They were present without being present. They have no conscious memory of the event they bought the ticket to. They weren't there. And I want to include in this story the other observation that I think is really important. And it also is going to play into the video on Thursday. And I really hope you tune in for it because it's cool and valuable and important. So here it is. When we get together over the holidays, these holidays, Thanksgiving, whatever time, 1st of July, 4th of July, Father's Day, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, whatever the day is, Family Day, Labor Day, you know what I mean? When we get together to celebrate our time together, if we're not deliberately, consciously present, what are we doing? We're drifting through life on autopilot. I want to reference something else very important that is impacting all of us right now in ways that we are going to have to decide to rise above and repair. And it's this: there are external things going on out there in the wide world. Always have been, always will. When we tune into those externals and we find our connection there, it's very tempting to bring that connection back with us to this moment and upstage this moment with that one out there. It's very tempting. Because why? Because when we're tuned into that channel, our emotions are high. It's a dopamine fix. It's an inclusion tribal. I'm part of this fix. It feels safe. It feels so important to feel like we're part of something that matters. The thing is, we are part of many tribes. We're on the community advisory committee. We're on the local sports thing. We belong to the photography club. We brand ourselves with certain clothing and recognize each other, saying, "Oh, you like that brand too." We're on that wavelength together. We find ourselves in a grocery store having the same look on our faces as the next person when we're trying to decide if we can afford one of these or two. We belong to so many tribes these days. We are not required, nor should we attempt to make it a condition of membership in this one that you are part of my other tribes. That's not what people sign on for. If I belong to the photography club, I don't have to also belong to the bagpipe playing group. It's not an automatic requirement. It might be a bonus membership, but it doesn't mean I have to. I'm allowed to just do this and then catch you on the next cycle. And so this is happening when troubling things catch our eye. We are very tempted to bring the troubling things into the conversation that was happy and lighthearted and enriching. I went to dinner with someone who said, "I want to talk about religion." And I said, "I don't talk about religion at dinner." "Well, in my family, we this." And I said, "That's lovely. That's lovely. And please, extend my regards to your family when you're next with them. I think I'm going to have the fish." Deflect and step aside. And what really matters here is understanding that just because I belong, you don't have to qualify to belong too. You don't have to give up your priorities in order to qualify to be a priority with me. We all get to have our priorities. The point is, the thing is, in this particular video, we need to make the decision to be present in this moment now without conditions applied. We need to make the decision to cherish, to experience, to live the full value so that we are truly and completely satisfied. We need to make that decision for us and for all the people we love who love us back. We need to say, I choose to be here now for however long this is. And then I will choose to be present for the moment that follows. So the hack today, the trick today, when someone is clearly not present, they've got those little things in their ears, rather than sneak up behind them and tap them on the shoulder and cause massive heart attacks and leapings in the air and pulling out into oncoming traffic. If you can wave and catch their attention, make the heart shape, give them a reason to be surprised, amused, and engaged with you for just that split second. Give them that opportunity to be here with you now. Give them the opportunity to realize they've drifted onto another channel. They've drifted into another channel, into oncoming traffic. Give them the assist to get them back where we are now. Well, good morning, Mike Ragnald. How lovely to see your beautiful face. So when someone is coming toward you and you say, Happy Holidays, and they jump, and you say, would you prefer Merry Christmas? Would you prefer Happy Easter? Would you prefer it's only 364 days till the next time the tree goes up? Catch their attention and give them a reason to smile. It's the best gift. It always fits, and you look amazing. Okay, so that's the drill today. Today is Boxing Day. Dear God in heaven, if you are going into a place to return something or see what's on sale, I don't know if you were on Facebook and you saw my introduction for this video. I posted the Viking hordes arriving on a beach. Remember that everyone is just trying to get this one last errand done. And that includes you. So, in the parking lot, 2 hacks before you go in. Leave the emotional baggage in the car in your later folder. Write it down. I'll be back. I'll worry about the 15 pounds later. Toss your virtual boat fenders outside your little space so that whatever might be toxic doesn't have a chance to scrape your paint. Take that deep breath, let it out, and say, let the games begin. And go in with the anticipation that it's going to be a win-win. All right? We don't need to do the elbows up thing and I was here first. We don't need that. And you know what else we don't need? If we see someone who's in that space, tuned into that channel, whatever it is they're guarding, we didn't need it that badly. We didn't really need it that badly. We didn't need all the toxic stuff attached to it. Take a deep breath. Give it a wide berth. I hope that helps. One thing I wanted to add, my great friend, Eddie, posted a managerial tip. What to say when someone says, can I ask a stupid question? And he had a brilliant answer, a brilliant, funny answer. So I added mine because mine is a Viking strategy and Vikings always want to get you into the boat. So can I ask a stupid question? My answer is, how do you think I earned this last promotion? What? Carry on. So with that, my lovelies, I'm going to give you free clearance to carry on with your day. It is an odd kind of a weird kind of a, what is it? It's this sort of waves coming in all different directions between one set of holidays and the beginning of the new year. That's why I really hope you tune in to this channel on Thursday, because of the hack I have to clear the decks, clear all away the wrapping paper, take the deep breath, let it out, and begin the new year on a fabulous note. So between now and Thursday, be good to you. There are no words to tell you how wonderful it is that when I do these videos and I see your comments and I see your names pop up and I get the comments later, it's magical. It's magical. We are defying gravity, and we are defying time and distance because we choose to. And you can't put a price tag on that. So be good to you, as I just said. You deserve it. Remember to hug your loved ones, even Aunt Edith in that awful sweater. And I will see you in a couple of days. Thank you.